Everybody, I need to be really, really clear for everybody about the results when toxic people lose you, and when you decide to end the connection and end the abuse or whatever it is. And this is toxic moms, toxic dads, toxic friends, toxic lover, toxic neighbors, toxic everything. When you end the relationship, you have to know something. There's always loss on any relationship, even a toxic one. And innocent people get hurt. There are people that have tried to break away from all these toxic things, and they're somehow still connected to the connection, and you have to give up some amazing relationships when you decide to leave. Sometimes you have a toxic parent and your brother or sister won't make the disconnect, but you have to. And so you have to leave behind a brother or a sister or an uncle or whoever. And what you have to do is realize what you're going to gain. And also, you get to cherish whatever you knew that was good, and then you get to go to more good, but you have to eliminate the things that are toxic. Because toxic people choose not to be responsible for anything they do. And until they lose you, and until they lose something, they don't care. Because what they choose to do every day of their lives is live out a violation against everybody instead of deal with what they need to fix. And the relationship that you have with anyone toxic, this is anyone toxic, it's not a real relationship. It's fake because it's one-sided. And they may con you or they may tell you what you need to hear. But they have a choice to handle their own behavior and their own reactions to things. And every single person that was abused, was neglected, was abandoned, didn't have a mother, didn't have a father, had an abusive mother, had an abusive father, when they're 21 and they are adults, they have to be responsible for themselves. And you don't get to continue to blame your parent. And if you have a parent that you're trying to tell that they were abusive, like the little girl that wrote to me, if they don't want to hear it, it's because the parents still want to live in denial. They don't want to face what they did and their own failures, and they don't want you to be healthy. They don't want to let you say, I am so sorry, you're right, I was inadequate, I wasn't equipped to be a mother, I am so sorry, I ruined your childhood, I wasn't able to give you the things that I was supposed to, and I'm sorry, and I wish I could fix it. And I would fix it if I could fix it, but let me help you now. A toxic parent will blame you for telling them that they weren't good and telling you, you hurt me. And their answer is always going to be toxic and about themselves. And they don't want to face what their parents did, and they don't want to face what they did. And the same thing with every toxic relationship. If you're leaving a toxic husband or wife, same thing. No one wants to fix what's wrong with them. They plan to live in the house dysfunctionally, or the situation, or the employment, or wherever the dysfunction is. But when they're toxic, they don't want to resolve things in a peaceful way because the turmoil inside them is always brewing, and they don't know how to let go and fix something so that people can end things in a peaceful way. They have to end things in chaos, mayhem, anger, problems, involve all the people in the world, tell lies, do all kinds of crazy things because they can't face or take any responsibility for the idiots that they choose to live like. And ending something toxic still hurts because you have invested something at some level to someone else, and you have to say goodbye to the fake relationship. And it's difficult, and innocent people get hurt because, like I said, in any situation where you're saying goodbye, it's not easy to let go, and it's not easy to give it up. But what you have to do is take care of you. Invest in yourself and in your future. And I promise you, I promise everybody that when you start to heal yourself and replace yourself with good people and kind people that value you, don't judge you, thank you, appreciate you, get you, accept you, don't care about your past, and they embrace you as you will feel better. you will become better. You will find out where you're supposed to go. You will fill your life back up, and you will replace that loss with something healthy. And it doesn't mean that you still don't miss certain things, because you're going to. And there's no way not to. If anything's 100% bad every single minute, then it's really easier to just shut it out and go. But most toxic things have a catch and a hitch. And there's something drawing you that's good, that keeps you always believing and trying and hoping and praying. And it's in any situation that's toxic. So someone who's toxic, they have some sort of a lure to keep you interested or on their side, or they have a story, or they keep telling you, I want this, I want that, I want to get better, I want to become better, and you keep believing it. And it's largely not true, because there's nothing standing in anyone's way as an adult but themselves. So if there's a mother that was toxic with all their children, that mother chose, when those children were born, not to know what to do, even though the wrong things were done to her. Before she gave birth, it was her job as an adult to go get help and say, my childhood was awful, and I don't want to make those same mistakes on my children. But if you choose to have children, and some people have a pile of them, and all they do is use them and do the same type of abuse in that cycle that was done to them, and they do it to their children. And then when the children grow up into this day and age, there's technology, there's the internet, there's Oprah, there's Dr. Phil, there's people all around the world that get to say to you, nope, you had a toxic, crazy, insane mother, father, whatever, and you don't have to stay, and you get to leave. And in long decades ago, you couldn't talk against your parents, and you couldn't tell. And there still is a lot of secrecy where people that are hiding their own secrets, they don't want to face that you've got toxic people in your life, because that makes them have to face their toxic stuff. But that doesn't matter. You get to go. You get to go give yourself wings, and what you do is you do close out that chapter and start to find the place where you belong, and the place where you can feel great and become something and be beautiful and feel good and love your life. And you don't have to stay near anyone toxic. And the one thing I know about toxic people and toxic families and toxic friends and toxic bosses and toxic whatever, they are never sorry. They're only sorry when they're caught, and when it ends, and when they can't have what they were taking from you before. They don't ever feel bad for the mistakes they made. They never take ownership in their screw-ups and in what they did wrong, and they never apologize. They blame. And so when you get someone who's saying, this is your fault, you're mistaken, you're not doing it right, you can't say that, I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your boss, I'm your whatever. If they won't take ownership and say, you know what, you're right, I could have done that better. Yep, you're right, that day I was too upset and I jumped on your throat. Yep, this day I didn't listen to you. And whatever, and you know what? I was a bad mother. I wasn't perfect and whatever, and I want to try and make it up to you as much as I can. You will never hear that from a toxic parent, because they will not own and take responsibility for a single thing they do. And if they do, there's a hitch. They're trying to get something, trying to correct something. They're not authentically sorry. When someone's authentically sorry, they absolutely know how to fix it and make up. They do it. They don't talk about it. They don't dream about it. They don't say to someone, oh, I should have done that. I would have done that. They do it. And so when someone doesn't do anything to fix it, they're just blowing smoke, and ignore them, because they're not the measure of you, and they're not capable of caring. And what you have to do is get out of fake relationships. When you think you're in a relationship or connection or anything that you believe that there's two sides and someone cares back, you need to make sure. And the way it's a good measure is what happens in the course of a year. Because when you meet somebody, you know, nobody really knows who's who. But what happens in the course of a year is there's holidays and birthdays and events and things. And you have enough time to see how that person handles 365 days of their life. And in their interactions with you, what does that bring to you? What do they bring to the table? And if they bring nothing to the table but they keep wanting to take from you, it's toxic. Relationships, no matter what they are, they're about give and take. So if it's mother-daughter, father-son, mother-son, the other way, everyone's give and take. And when you're young, it's the parents giving to the children. When you're older and they want to stay connected to you as an adult, it's give and take, because there doesn't have to be a connection after you're 18. If you want to have people in your life to call family, they have to earn that label. And when they're toxic, you're better off to make a family of choice than actually a family of birth. Because your birth parents, they might have been able to pop out kids, but it doesn't make them parents. Parents are Hallmark type parents. They're loving, they're caring, they worship you, they support you. They don't care what your mistakes are. They pick you up when you fall and they tell you, I don't care what you did. You are a child and an adult and you scraped your butt. Let me come here and help you. We'll fix it. We'll deal with it. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. And you can make another mistake in 2 weeks and I don't care. I will love you no matter what and we will get through it. And that is the give and take. And when you don't have that kind of a parent and you have a parent that's judging you and criticizing you, blaming you, bringing up your mistakes, hounding them on you like you're supposed to be a machine, they're toxic. And your choice is to cut them out of your life and to become healthy and be okay. And it's very, very hard to get over this and get to that place when you've been broken and the people that brought you here are telling you you're rotten. And you know what? You're not. You survived anyway. You were this teeny tiny little thing that survived everything that happened to you. And you are here for a purpose. And every single person that learns to survive and crawl away from toxic parents and become what they're supposed to be, you dig into your authentic self, you become something beautiful and special, and you start to shine. And the harder your life is, the better your life is. And I know that sounds crazy, but people that end up just having this average life with no trauma drama, they don't have any capacity to understand things. Someone that's come from hard survival and they've escaped and they've learned pain and they've learned suffering and they've learned injury and they've learned illness and recovery and everything, they have something to bring out into the world to heal themselves and to give to somebody else. And that's what makes you special. And when we're survivors and we get to become that, we get to go take our journey everywhere. And my advice to everybody is, when you have a big heart and when you want to be loving and be good, you be careful who you give your love to, because it's very easy to give your love away to toxic people. And I am the queen of having made that mistake. But most of my life I did not. I met amazing people that weren't toxic, and I gave all my goodness to good people. And it gave me tenfold, because I met amazing people and I've had an amazing journey, and I still am. I happened to get trapped and tricked because of some babies that came from toxic parents that I thought I could help and change, and I thought they'd value it and thank and appreciate it and love and learn from it. Not anything. Toxic people, they don't want to learn anything. They don't want anything better. The only time they care is when it stops, because they wake up every single day and say, it's all about me. What can the world do for me today? And when you do something, it's invisible because they still want more. And they figure everybody owes them, so any little thing that happens is a drop in the bucket. And you need to stay away from toxic people. And the way you can tell they're toxic is how they handle things and how they handle their life. And like I said, when you have 365 days, if it isn't more than 80% smooth, and there's all these little turbulence in their life and rough things, and they're fighting over stupid things, and they're sort of crazy, you just can't invest, and you can't get that close. And you need to walk away before you get yourself back into a trap. And if I could pass on anything to anybody, it's be very, very careful. You deserve, as a human being, to find and meet the best people on earth. And best people have nothing to do with being toxic. They're the people that heal, survive, recover, and become rational, loving, and successful. And anyone else that's making excuses and looking for pity, they're toxic. And so stay away from them. Stay 100 miles away. And all you have to do is walk in a straight line like you have horse blinders on like this. Don't even look. Because no one deserves your love and help if they aren't giving it back. And toxic people, they don't give it back. They just take. And there's toxic people that come in all shapes and sizes. And they can appear to be... I've helped people that are disabled that were toxic. I've given somebody a ride and she was toxic. I've met someone in a cab that drove and she was toxic. So there's toxic people everywhere. But stay away from them, stay to yourself, and trust your instincts. When you feel like someone's going to be not safe for you, trust your inner voice, listen to it, and believe that you know better. And don't be so desperate to be looking for friends. Love yourself, love your journey, do the best you can, and you don't need to be looking for friends. I secured my little wall of life and the beautiful people that I know and the wonderful journey that I've had, and I'm not desperate to find any new friends. I love the people that I've saved in my life and that have met me and have been a piece of my journey. And you absolutely know when someone connects with you, even in, I'm 53, but even as late in life as it is, if they're supposed to be part of my journey, I know it the minute I meet them. And other people, my antennas are like this. I just go, nope, sorry, I don't know how to help. Because you don't have to help people to the point where it's expensive to yourself. And if it starts to cost you your sanity, your patience, your calmness, your life, your peace, it's toxic, and you have to learn how to get rid of them, no matter what that means, and get them out of your life. And toxic people don't change, they blame. Okay? Thank you.